Labor militancy is continuing now with several Amazon warehouses experiencing a work stoppage after workers walked off the job. Now, several dozen Amazon workers at two separate Chicago area delivery stations staged a walkout to demand raises and safer working conditions, making it the first time the tech giant has seen a multi-site work stoppage in the United States. And let's keep in mind that this work stoppage began 3 days before Christmas, and the workers, I think, of course, did this strategically in order to apply as much pressure as possible, as of course people are looking to get their Christmas gifts and Christmas stuff in time. Now, organized by the labor network Amazonians United, the walkouts occurred during the morning shifts at the company's DIL3 facility in Chicago's Gage Park neighborhood and at the DLN2 warehouse in the nearby town of Cicero. Amazonians United, by the way, is a solidarity union of Amazon workers, and it's scattered across the country. They are not recognized by the NLRB, but they are doing that as a strategy to be more effective in essentially mobilizing workers and organizing with them to make strikes like this or work stoppages like this happen. So Ted Min, who is one of the sortation associates at Amazon, that's one of the titles there, says we've been underpaid, overworked, and also unsafely staffed going on months now. We tried to raise these issues with management, but they've effectively dismissed our concerns. He also says that at his warehouse in Gage Park, 65 out of an estimated 100 workers signed onto a petition demanding a $3 an hour raise and also safe staffing. The petition was delivered to management a month ago, but the workers never even received a response. They're not taking us seriously, so we're walking out, he said. And I also want to remind you all that, the terrible tornado which destroyed an Amazon warehouse recently led to 6 Amazon workers dying. But that's not the only time Amazon workers died on the job. In fact, we had covered the unionization effort in Bessemer, Alabama, which had ultimately failed. They're going to hold the union election again because the NLRB found some issues with the way that Amazon was treating the employees as they were making those efforts initially. But we're also learning about people who had died at the Bessemer, Alabama warehouse. Let's go to the last graphic here. 2 Amazon workers died within hours of each other at the company's Bessemer warehouse last month. One was denied sick leave before suffering a fatal stroke.
So that's the most important one. Look, people can die at work, it happens, right? And it's a big country, etc. But 6 people dying in the same warehouse, which is not that big a warehouse, in Bessemer, Alabama, is weird. Okay, 2 dying on the same day, and then that now wait a minute, that looks like it's statistically significant. What the hell is going on there? But the most important one is the last one that Anna read to you guys. They ask for sick leave, they're denied, and then they have a stroke. No, then there's something wrong with how you're doing this. If the working conditions are too brutal, and in a sense, when they say you're killing your employees, there's a little bit of truth to that. But look, Amazon has so much power, and our government does nothing. And I love Amazonians United because I'm worried that the old unions are very ossified and are not being very effective in fighting against corporate power. So Amazonians United is like, you know what? We're going to start literally uniting these workers, no matter what. When they signed up, they didn't sign up, they paid dues, they don't pay. I don't care. I'm gonna bring them together to try to get leverage and fight for them. I love what they're doing.
Yeah, and look, I think this is a continuation of what we've been seeing in so many different cases, right? So another story that we covered just yesterday was the outcome of the Kellogg strike. And honestly, those are the stories that are inspiring me right now because the workers were able to secure pay raises. They were able to do something about the fact that Kellogg's wanted to have like this two-tiered system with legacy employees who would get paid far more than new hires. And they didn't want that division within the workplace. There was a period of time where Kellogg's was threatening to make the scab workers permanent. And luckily, Kellogg's was able, the union representing the Kellogg's workers was able to effectively push back against that. And look, I give you this example specifically because what are we gonna do? We're gonna wait for Democrats in Congress to pass a federal minimum wage hike? They failed. They failed. The only place that we're seeing any success right now is workers standing together in solidarity to demand better working conditions and better pay. To give you a few more details about the work stoppage in Illinois. So there's the Cicero station that I talked to you about earlier, right? So the DLN2 delivery station in Cicero, Min, the worker, explained that management explicitly had promised them double pay for those who worked on Thanksgiving, but only gave 1.5 time pay. He also said that new hires at the facility did not receive a promised $1,000 sign-on bonus. The Cicero workers say they are demanding a $5 per hour raise and a return to 20-minute breaks, alleging managers recently reduced their break time by 5 minutes. And so if you don't fight back, of course they're gonna keep pushing and pushing and pushing, limiting more of the freedoms that the workers have, limiting more of the breaks that the workers have, and they're fighting back at a time when the company is clearly desperate in getting packages out because of the holidays.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised here. I'm not surprised by corporate abuse almost ever, but I am in this case. But that's because there's just no cops at all to regulate them, right? So saying I'm gonna give you a $1,000 bonus and then they sign up and then go, I was lying, I'm not gonna give you the bonus. That's unbelievable. Saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna give you this raise or pay you double if you work on Thanksgiving, and then go, sucker, I'm not gonna give you twice as much, I'm gonna give you 1.5. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And America's, I know, gotten more and more brutal, but wow, and a lot of you are going, Cenk, you're so naive, management lying to you, that happens all the time. I guess, I don't know, I didn't work at those companies, and I'm just amazed by how brazen it is. But think about it, what are the consequences? What are they gonna do? There's no union to protect them. There's no government to protect them. If they go to their representative actually is a good progressive, Chuy Garcia, but he's fighting against the corporate machine. All of his Democratic colleagues are like, Amazon? No, they give us campaign donations. We're not gonna do anything for their workers. Let them lie to them 24/7. Good job, Amazon, right? So there's no one here to help you. So these giant corporations are just steamrolling the average American.
Absolutely. I mean, once you know that they have workers die on the warehouse floor and everyone else, their colleagues are expected to keep working and ignore the fact that there's a dead body there. It gives you a sense of just how much these executives think they can get away with.
Yeah, one last thing about that. The bigger they are, the more likely they are to get away with it. In the old days, it used to be the opposite. Hey, if you're big, you draw a lot of attention, right? Nowadays, though, if you're small or you're mid-sized, you're gonna have trouble with legal issues if somebody sues you because their family member died on the job, right? But if you're big, they have an army of lawyers. So Amazon's like, yeah, we already figured that into our budget. It's no big deal at all. There's no way you're gonna beat our army of lawyers. We'll drag it out until you're broke, right? So they wind up having more power. That's when the government, your representatives, are supposed to help you. But they know that there is no cavalry. No one's gonna come to help you. That's why there are no rules left anymore, and this is what's happening. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.